The spirit is androgynous. The spirit is neither male nor female. The spirit is eternal. The spirit is everlasting. The spirit is power and force. The spirit is the spark of the divine. The spirit is the light of God dwelling within the human. There has been much talk and much ado about the idea lately of transgender. And yet the spirit itself is androgynous. So why has suddenly the issue of gender become so consuming? Nothing has changed. For thousands of years, nothing has changed. There has always been a variance of humanity. There have always been women who would grow beards, and there have always been men who have been beardless. There have always been women who go bald, and there have always been men who keep a full shock of hair upon their head. There have always been men who are less muscular, and there have always been occasional women who are large in size and in muscle and strength. The real essence of the matter is that people have always been a varied lot. Human beings have been a very varied lot. Short, tall, skinny, and fat. All different colors, all different shapes and sizes. Humanity has always simply been. And as long as you teach children, you are a child of God, be happy with yourself. It's okay to be different. You do not have to live within a confined role. See, the problem is not whether one is male or female. The problem is that society has put very strict and tight expectations on what is male or is female. So, if you are a female, you're supposed to look like a Barbie doll. And if you're a male, you're supposed to look like a G.I. Joe doll. If you are a female, you're only allowed to wear pink, and if you are a male, you should only be dressed in camouflage. That is just silly. That is ignorance beyond ignorance. You should not be judging people as such. By today's definition, Joan of Arc would be transgender because she put on the armor of a man and rode into battle. She was a woman who had leadership skills and military prowess. In a time when it was expected that only men could have such. People will look back at this time in history and see a barbaric people that has been without understanding of the diversity of humanity. We are talking about the fact that all individuals are created in the image of the divine. We are not talking here about anything controversial. We are talking simply about allowing people to be themselves and live comfortably within their own skin. You would say, but that's not what it's about. It's all about sexuality. It is not about sexuality. It is about the fact that you are not allowing people to simply be themselves. If they want to wear shoes that are different or have big buckles on the side, like the pilgrims of the past, does it hurt you? If they choose as a woman to wear slacks, do you automatically think they are acting like men? If they are men and they wear robes from the ancient past, do you automatically say, oh, but they're acting like women? Life is a spectrum, a sliding scale of existence. Not everyone is a sumo wrestler. But we tell you now, there are women who can put some of those sumo wrestlers to shame. And if you go to a mixed martial arts tournament, beware of the 112-pound woman. She may be the true champion, but you look and think, oh, men are fighters and women are those who keep the domestic scene alive. A woman's place is not in the house any more than a man's place is on the battlefield. A woman's place is where a woman feels comfortable, and a man's place is where a man feels comfortable. And not every man enjoys spending the weekend watching sports and swilling beer. And not every woman wants to spend hours in some silly circle of women quilting. Each individual has their own God-given talents and their God-given variations. There are sundry physical differences and various mental differences. And sometimes the twain do not match or meet. But they are the children of God as they were created. So, you say, we look at this evil of transgender because people are wanting to change their sexuality. We tell you people aren't wanting to change their sexuality. People are wanting to be themselves. And since you have, as a society, said only if you are this sex or this sex can you do this or can you do that, you have forced people who have gifts or propensities to things that the opposite sex would do, to lean toward living in that sexuality. If you would simply say, oh, well, you're really good at what you do, and allow it to be done, there would be no question of people wanting continually to change sexual orientations. It is not about sex. It is about existing as who you are and being allowed to exist as who you are. And society does not allow that. Society wants to put people in nice little pockets. Oh, you're a black man, so you must be a drug user. Forget the fact that more drug offenses are actually committed by the middle-class white men. Forget that fact. Just go out and arrest black men because black men are supposed to be the drug users. By the way, they are the least likely to be using hard drugs. Study after study has shown this. So, you say, but there's a Native American. You know, they're supposed to be drunk, and they're supposed to be illiterate, and they're supposed to be wild savages, and yet they're some of the most gentle and loving people. And they were some of the greatest heroes in time of America's wars. But they have poverty and drunkenness and hopelessness thrust upon them by a society who wants to see them that way. Well, we tell you that this whole transgender issue is the same thing. People who are different are told by society, you can't be that because you are this sex. You can't be different. Your option is either to give up what you love or to be the sex that is allowed to do what you love doing, or looks the way you look, or acts the way you act. That is not an individual's problem. That is society's problem. And until society changes, it will continue to inflict harm and hurt on individuals time and time again. Who is at fault? You are at fault. We leave you with blessings and with peace. Peace be with you.